Bada boom, bada bang, bada stack. Look at that. 50 millimeters. We are back today with the Adidas Prime X Strung 3. I think I have to say shout out Dwayne Wade. I've been shouting out Dwayne Wade, I think every time I say 3 recently. Maybe I should get a bigger roster of athletes who are number 3. Anyway, I'm glad you're here because we're going to get some miles on the shoe, and this is a great place for shoe enthusiasts. Now, last night, I was on the Supwell app, and I saw one of the best reviews I've ever seen on the app, not because it was the most thorough or the longest or had all the details, but because it was my guy, Donnie Howard, and I'll talk about this later in the video, but he was just sharing his experience with this shoe, how it transforms his running, and how it works for him, and he's a runner with much different paces than I am, much different size than I am. So I talk about this a lot on the channel, but I'm one person. I can try to get 100 miles on a shoe. I can try to review 100 shoes a year, but I can't change who I am. I can't change my preferences. I can't change my mechanics. Well, I could, but I don't. I can't change my size. I can't make myself 5'6" and running 430 paces. I can't make myself bigger, right? So if you want to get alternate perspectives on a shoe, the Supwell app is great, and then it's also the best gosh dang buy, sell, and trade marketplace out there. I also saw, I say it later, I'm not going to give it up, but there was one of the funniest comments I've ever seen in my entire life. And this is the other thing about the Supwell app. It's just a great group of people who are having fun, getting after it, and not taking themselves too seriously. And that's why I come out here and talk about it every day, because I really believe in it, and I really stand on it, and I try to spotlight the Supwell app instead of having a bunch of other sponsors. So, Supwell app, mileage for the people. Get in with us and enjoy today's video. You unload the whole dishwasher?
And you said to cookie.
Oh no!
You messed up a little.
Oh no! We'll go with that, I guess.
Daddy, can you help us?
Delicious. Star Status by Primo Rice. That's what we're listening to this morning. Absolute banger, man. His flow is crazy on that. Good summer vibes. Also, the album cover. I haven't listened to this whole album yet. One of the sickest album covers I've seen in at least this year. Recent memory. Look at that. He's standing on a perfectly manicured lawn with the hedges trimmed and everything in a pink hoodie. What is he doing? Is he rolling up? I think he's rolling up. Yeah, he's rolling up in a pair of Louis shorts or something. Banger song right here. Star Status, Primo Rice. Sick flow. Anyway, we're going to get some miles in the Adidas Prime X 3 Strung. Yeah, I did the first run review a few days ago. I did a hard 10K. Just got here off the, I was going to say off the bus. That's what it felt like. It was not a bus. I got out of the car from traveling, just ran in it. It was super bouncy, but I was also just destroyed and not ready for the heat over here. But it was fun. It was a fun run and a fun ride in these guys. Now, what I picked up on from that first run was this is a great update. You get a softer heel than was in the 2. You also have a very wide forefoot with almost a firm feeling up in the front and maybe an actively firm feeling up in the front. And yesterday, my guy Donnie Howard from the Supwell app posted one of the most enthusiastic reviews that I've ever seen of any shoe. He said it was a certified big boy banger. What else did he say? He said a bunch of stuff, but he said if you're over 200 pounds, you got to get this shoe because it just makes it so easy to run. He did a 2 or 3 mile test out of the box and was singing its praises. I'm not over 200 pounds. I'm 160 pounds. And by the way, that's another great reason to be on the Supwell app, because you get reviews like that from people who are different than I am. But even for me, under 200 pounds, 160 pounds, I really liked it. Great bounce. But one of the things that is odd about a shoe like this for me, I was thinking about this last night as I was cleaning the kitchen. Because I don't have the requisite weight to activate this foam at my everyday paces, I need to be running fast to get the biggest benefit of the bounce. Fast as in probably 6:30 or faster to really get the most benefit. And then when I am running those paces, I would rather have something more lightweight and streamlined. So it's almost a catch-22 with a shoe like this. If I need to be running hard to enjoy it, and running workout paces to enjoy it, but then those workout paces, I would be better served by a shoe like the Sky Paris, or the Alpha Fly leaves it in a weird place. But I'm not 100% sure that is true. I do think, and I'm holding out hope, that this could be a fun, not necessarily daily trainer, but zone 3 type shoe, steady type shoe for those runs that are maybe not workouts, but longer miles. Can this be a mileage building shoe? Now, the recent shoe, let me go grab it. Yeah, the recent shoe that's done that for me really well is this guy here, Mizuno Neo Vista 2. I did the 100-mile review of it yesterday. Nobody watched that, and it's funny because I said that walking back up here. I said, man, every single video I've done of the Neo Vista 2 has gotten not no views, but way fewer views than competitor shoes. And I title all the videos very similar things, so it's really about how much interest the shoe has. So this shoe does not have that much interest for some reason. I don't know if Mizuno still has not as big of a brand reputation as Adidas or Saucony, but this shoe just isn't driving the interest that it should. This is one of the best, if not the best, max cushion shoes of the year. I have it number 1 on the max cushion list. It's a great blend of comfort and running assistance and mileage capability. It doesn't get mushy. It's great for going long, and it's not too aggressive. Now, where the Neo Vista 2 is much better, at least in the first run, in my hypothesis here, where it is much better than a shoe like the Prime X Strung 3, is for running relaxed. Because the Prime X Strung 3 here has the 2 plates, has the full race foam, has the aggressive rocker geometry, this is still designed more for speed and race-style efforts than it is for everyday miles. And it's one of those things where I'm just worried it's going to be caught in a no man's land for me with my training, doing more polarized style training, where on one end I'm running hard workouts in the Sky Paris and Fast R3 shoes of the world, and on the other hand I'm running relaxed miles in a shoe like the Neo Vista 2. Now, another shoe that's released recently that has done a really nice job of giving me those fast, fun daily miles is this guy, Saucony Endorphin Speed 5. I'm so glad Saucony made this update here. It's not a huge revolution. They did a backwards evolution. They evolved it back to its original state, where it's awesome with this Power MPB plastic plate, no gimmicks, nice geometry. It weirdly feels low to the ground now. It's crazy compared to the shoes like the Neo Vista 2 and the Prime X Strung and the Mag Max. This doesn't feel like a tall shoe, but that's okay. To me, this is almost the best version of what the Rebel V5 is trying to do, which is be a fun, fast, everyday option. And so I've run the Speed 3 times now. I ran it yesterday, 6 miles, around an 8 flat pace in the 90 degrees, which translates to probably a 720 pace on a regular run. And it's just a really fun ride. And so for these runs where I'm not trying to recover and I'm also not trying to go out and hammer pace, I want something that feels fun. And the Speed 5 does that. I'm hoping that's where the Prime X3 can slot into my rotation as well, especially because this guy is $300. That is no joke. And, man, I feel the price. I think some people think I don't feel the price, man. I buy all these shoes myself, and, dude, the past 2 days, because it's July 1st today, there's been so many things that have come out. The Sky Tokyo, the Edge Tokyo, Hyperion Max 3, Takumi Sen 11, Hyperion Elite 5, Rocket X3. That's 6 shoes right there. And then I also bought 2 other shoes They were more stability shoes that released. So I'm not going to count it all up. You can count it all up, but that all comes out of my bank account. And we don't accept the shoes from the brands anymore. So yeah, that's why I get bummed when a 100-mile review of a shoe like the Neo Vista doesn't get any views, because I bought the shoe with my own money and I want to spread the good word. So buying the shoes through my Running Warehouse link does help support the channel, and it ensures that I can do the independent testing. But the point is here, I buy the shoes just like everybody else, so I want to get the value and miles and use and enjoyment out of them just like everybody else. So if I can only use this shoe for 1 out of every 14 runs, say I run probably 10 times a week. If I can only use the shoe once every 2 weeks, once out of 20 runs, that's not a good value to me for a $300 shoe. Yes, I like having specialized shoes, but with something this expensive and that's designed to be this max stack monster, I want some sort of capability of it beyond being able to use it for one very specific long run of the month. With the shoe like the Nike Streak Fly, I more understand it, or a race shoe, I more understand it. But for this, man, these expensive training shoes, I just want to be able to run in them a lot and for them to get me excited about running. So that's what we're going to see today. I'm just going to go out, get some miles. I'm getting another late start here, so I'll probably chug some water before we go so we don't get choked out by the heat. And we'll just see how many we can get. I need at least 10. If we can get a few more, that'll be great. If not, whatever. So let's lace this bad boy up. Getting her car detailed. If you can hear that in the background, it's not a lawnmower today. It's a car detailing machine. And it's funny because Charlie said, hey, do you see Mary's getting her car detailed? It's going to be a mom off here. Now I need to get somebody to come out and detail Charlie's car. That's how it works. Lacing up the Prime X Strung 3 here. So one of the things I felt on the first run was the heel still soft. Maybe not even still. Maybe returning to being soft like the OG. And look at this. Yeah, you can completely roll your ankle over. So not a very stable shoe. I took a corner turning around in a cul-de-sac pretty hard in these. And I had to slow down a lot just so that I didn't completely lose my grip on the ground and roll. So not great stability in the back. It honestly felt best for me, though, when running more up on the forefoot and in forefoot striking. And I was wondering, and I still have this question, why is the front so wide? Because that is adding a ton of weight. If you just look at the top here and you see it bulging out, dude, they could have saved probably 30 grams by just shaving this and making it narrower, and you don't have the stability in the back, which is where more people need it and want it. So it just doesn't make that much sense to me. I do wish this were a hair lighter. It is a heavy shoe, man. What was it, 310 grams? That's still pretty heavy for me, for a speed shoe or a race shoe, but if we're going to treat this like a long-distance trainer or like a Skyward X competitor, that's not bad. But they just have made some choices on this where, yes, it's fun. It's a wacky shoe. It's a chunky, funky monkey. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly this is for. So that's the purpose of this test today. Can we figure out where, for a runner like me, high mileage training, marathon training, where this will fit in my lineup and where most people will use it? Is it just an Evo SL that's twice the price, or is it really that hybrid race shoe training shoe? So with that, let's go get our miles in and hopefully find out. Oh man, it's putting in work. He's putting in work. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, I came out of the gates on Saturday first running this thing like a bat out of heck. So we'll see how this does for a more relaxed run. Yeah, and just as I suspected here, at these more relaxed paces for me, feeling a tad heavy, firm, and slappy. Just feels like overkill for an 8-minute pace for me. But we'll see. Once we get 30 or so minutes in it, hopefully it opens up. This is also very front heavy. You've heard of bottom heavy. This is front heavy. There's just so much junk in the front. It's a weird feeling to have the front of it be so much heavier and bigger. It's wider and heavier and bigger than the back. It's really all about how you land with this guy. This guy. My guy on the Supple app also said there's always a way to afford expensive shoes, because he sold blood plasma for weed when he was younger. So just hit a mile. Forgot to check what pace I'm going, but not very fast. Something like 750 or 8 flat. And I'm just really focusing on how I'm landing. This is not like the Neo Vista 2, where I just bop along without thinking about it. I'm really trying to maximize the bounce and land correctly. Gonna need to get Charles a golf cart too now to keep up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, this is not a particularly easy to run in shoe. I'm trying to catch the rhythm with it. It's a rhythm shoe. It's almost like when I'm leaping from one side to the other, landing right on top of the forefoot, I'm getting that bounce. And I could just imagine, if you're heavier than I am, how bouncy this would feel. I'm just not quite unlocking it at these paces. Just dropped a mortgage on the July 1st releases. It's disgusting. Just dropped a stack on some stack. Trying to decide whether or not I should start going in. Should I start going in? We'll see. I'm gonna hold off on going in. Yeah, this thing really wants me to forefoot strike to get that bounce out the front. And the harder I push on the forefoot, the bouncier it is. It's like running on 2 tennis balls. But with my normal stride, I'm not getting that. It almost feels like a unbroken in Boston 12 with my normal relaxed miles heel strike or flat-footed landing. Just seriously unimpressive. Again, at my size, I think I'm 150 right now. So just not driving enough power at these, even at a 730 pace. It's also just weird because the heel feels exactly like the OG Prime X Strung with the squish of the Light Strike Pro. Is perfect. But it's compressing so much that it has this negative drop effect where I'm fighting over that big bulge, that sandwiched foam. So it compresses all the way in the back, and then I'm almost fighting to get over that bulge and to get to the toe off. Oh man, that was mile 2, 7:18. I thought I was going 8 flat. 7:18, that's not super fast for me, but a lot faster than I thought I was going in. I remember the 2 had the same exact effect. That thing gave me a ton of assistance as well. I was always running faster in it than I thought. So the bounce in these guys is real. This is weirdly reminding me of the Sky Paris. It has the same exact shape. Narrow heel that feels softer in the back, the big bulge under the forefoot, and the requirement of driving a lot of power through the front to get the bounce. It's a high stack Sky Paris, that's crazy. Yeah, mile 3, 7:14. There's definitely nothing chill about this shoe. It's heavy, aggressive. I can feel all the carbon. It's not a relaxed cruiser at all. Total zone 3 champ. I'm still trying to figure out why nobody cares about the Mizuno Neo Vista 2. If that were the Adidas Adizero Prima Pro, it will be sold out. And if that were the Asics Sonic Blast, which it literally is the exact same thing as what they're coming out with, it will be sold out. People are just sleeping on Mizuno. It's disrespectful. Literally the Skechers videos get more views than the Mizuno ones. It's straight disrespect. With the whole buying shoes ourselves thing, I know some people might wonder why I'm doing it this way. Also why I don't have a ton of sponsors or anything. Because I already have a job, a 9 to 5, where I have no control over what I do or what I say, and I go to work. My job is solid, and I collect a paycheck, it's great. But I'm working for somebody else. This is my outlet and my chance to do things the way I want to do it. And to build something the way that I feel is right. And there's been people who want to invest in Supwell and all this other stuff, but the thing is, as soon as you accept a check from somebody else, you're working for them. I already have a boss in my 9 to 5. I don't need another boss over here. This is for the people. That's why I'm doing this. And if we can't make it super profitable that way, that's fine. I didn't get an MBA to review shoes on YouTube. I got an MBA to put food on the table for my family. And I'm doing that with my 9-to-5. So I'll do this as long as people are getting value from it, even if it's not making a ton of money. All right, I think it's time to go in. I just dropped a mortgage on some Piba. Other shoe-tubers can't keep up. Can't little bro me, I'm the big dog. Moving like a great white in the fish pond. That's the tiniest baby deer that I ever did see. Look at that. You see it? Look at that thing. Bro, he's looking for his mommy. I'm getting that mileage. Let's go. Make the competition run like a baby deer. Had to take the shirt off. It's getting hot in here. Mile 6, 6:55. I'm moving now. Man, nice 4-foot bounce here. So good. You gotta land up front for these to work. Or conversely, there's no in between. It's either up front or jam that heel down. On the downhills, it feels great. So I can see why the big boys are gonna love this one. Like our friend Donnie said, certified big boy banger. Just don't go to certifiedbigboybanger.com. Do not do that. You know I'm running in my Strungs like I'm Donnie Howard. In the shoe tube game, I got a lot of power. It's raining in the Carolinas like a lot of showers. Thought it was sweet, then the grind really got them sour. Yeah, I think I might call these ones the Chris Christies. You remember Chris Christie? It's not what you're thinking. It's not. It's because back in the day, and I'm really showing my old head cred right here. He said the best method for birth control is the rhythm method. That's not an image anybody needs in their head, but the rhythm method. And this is a rhythm shoe. You gotta catch that rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. Just lock in. I was gonna say shout out Chris Christie putting in work, but I don't think Chris Christie deserves a shout out. Bro, the battery on this watch is just trash. Started at 10% on this run. It's already at 4. This is almost Apple levels of bad. With Koros, 10% will last me 3 days. That's crazy. I was gonna get the Pace Pro, but I'm not spending a dime more than I need to this month. Those July releases, man, they cleared me out. So I'm rocking with this bad boy for another month. I guess I'll just start charging it every day so we don't run into that issue. 6:43. Moving in these Chris Christies. People love to see the grind, man. This dude just yelled at me out the window of his pickup truck, gave me a big thumbs up. People love to see someone getting after it. Anybody. young, old, doesn't matter the race. This is that non-denominational grind, baby. Stacking that melting pot mileage. Let's go. Anybody can get this work. I think it's something about the pink shorts. When you see a 6 foot tall man just prancing along in some pink shorts, you get excited. That's that big work. Mile 11, 6:35. Work, baby. You already know what it is. Waist Pro putting in work. Well, the Garmin died. That's honestly embarrassing. This thing is just straight up not good. It can't last 10% for a morning run. That's atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. The GoPro battery lasts longer than the Garmin. That's embarrassing. That is super embarrassing. Garmin, do better. Finishing out with some extra on my loop here. Make sure I get 14. Watch the diet at 12.7. Man, he's really detailing that thing. He's going. That's some mileage right there. He said these other detailers, they're just doing the outline. Me, I get in the intricacies. I'm real thorough with the details. All right, so 14 miles this morning in the Strung 3. Got some good dirt on these. Gonna have to wipe them down. They're expensive products. We can't just leave the dirt sitting on there. And that was a solid run, man. Steady mobbing. Steady mobbing. 640 pace. Gliding along. The thing is, though, with this shoe, it really wants you to land up here. It has the split. They legit put a split front and back. This is the first time they've done this on the Strung. Oh, the sun's coming out, too. Oh, look at that. With the sun coming out, you can see through the Strung upper. That's cool. But yeah, they, let's see, right there. You can see they did the split front and back, so it has that divot in the middle. And for me, it was feeling best if I was landing like so, right here. And it is so far up and so aggressive. Let me see another shoe. Okay, Saucony Endorphin Speed, for example, there's a suggestion of a divot, but it's actually pretty flat right here, at least on one side, so you can land farther back and have it feel good. And then Mizuno Neo Vista 2, there's no divot at all. You can land anywhere. You can land on the heel, and it will roll you through. With this guy, I mean, you can land anywhere, but it just felt so choppy when I was landing farther back. It really wanted me to get right up here. And there's just so much going on. I don't know, man. For me, I'm feeling this is good, but not great. It's just not 100% what I want it to be, but it's still really good. And like I said in the first round review, you're paying for the experience here, and it's most certainly a different, wild, fun experience. It's just borderline too much technology for. Is it just overbuilt, right? Do we need all the plates? And not even need. Of course, we don't need that. We could run barefoot. That's not what I mean. But are the plates in the rods, in the 3 layers of foam, are they adding to the experience? Or is it just diminishing returns, right? Would we have had the same ride or maybe an even better ride with less going on, right? If we just slightly dialed up the Adidas Pro 4. So that's where I'm still trying to figure this shoe out. It almost reminds me of the Boston 12 in a way, just a more dialed up Boston 12, but that chunky, heavy, firm 4-foot feel where you got to put some power up here and pop off the front to get it going. But I mean, it's a really nice ride. It's not smooth, but it gives me that balance that I'm looking for when I lock into a rhythm. Like I said, this is the Chris Christie of running shoes. And as I was thinking out there, if, you know, people say dogs or people look like they're dogs, I was thinking if governors look like their state, I feel like Chris Christie would be up there in terms of governors look like. He looks like New Jersey. Gavin Newsom, that's another one. He looks like California. A low-key one is Wes Moore. You know Wes Moore? He's a handsome fella. He looks like Maryland, just a clean-cut military veteran with a nice bald shaved head. Shout out Wes Moore putting in work. Pretty. Woo! Whoa! That's some Barefoot Mafia action if I've ever seen it. 2004 Camaro just ripping for no reason. Yeah, pretty. Let's make sure we get the right lighting on this. Pretty good. Pretty good. That's what I give this thing. Anybody know where that's from? Pretty good. Any Curb fans? Man, such a legendary show. Such a legendary show, man. Seinfeld and Jerry Seinfeld, not the show. Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David. I think those guys did such a good job at pioneering the awkward situational comedy, and then you had guys like Dimitri Martin come through, and the Andy Sambergs, and what was the show, Workaholics, the Next Generation. But man, Larry David, just an OG, legendary, legend in the game. Shout out Larry David putting in work. Yeah, this thing is pretty good. The reason that was on my head is because, like I was saying, good but not great. Yet, something about it is just not hitting 100%. But if we throw up this run, by the way, I don't even know if we can throw up this run. Let me show you what's going on here. Bro, look at this. It's saying charging. It's literally saying it's charging right now 48%, and I can't turn it on. I'm telling you, it's not charging. There's nothing plugged into it. This is just the biggest fail of technology that I've ever seen. I've just had issues almost every day with this thing, but I'm stuck with it now. Like I said, I just dropped 2 bands on shoes because of all the July 1st releases, so there's no way in heck I'm spending more money on running stuff that I don't need to. So we're gonna rock with this until that nice YouTube check hits later in July. So I'll see if maybe we'll round the corner with this, because I think the YouTube money usually comes around July 20th. We're living paycheck to paycheck here on the Supwell account. So yeah, I don't know, man. Do you see this? 48%. It tells me it's charging and plugged in, and I can't turn it on. I'm holding on the power button here. Just nothing. Just pressing all the buttons, but this is the power one right here. They said the light button is the power button. Nothing, dude. And it's saying it's charging. It's legitimately not charging. Anyway, so we'll see if I can get the run thrown up or not. It was about 14 miles. I got 12.7 miles before it died, and then I ran about 10 more minutes to make sure I got at least 14. So it was probably around 14.1 or 14.2. And I was clipping off the majority of that run at around a 6:40 pace, at least when I got into the groove. So started off, I think, around 7:40, 7:50. I don't know. I probably said it, and I was mainly telling you guys what the miles were. But where I felt best and where I was cruising for the good portion of the back half of that run was around 6:40, 6:45 pace. Nice, steady zone. Steady mobbing like Gucci Mane and Lil Wayne out in these Mint Hill streets. And it is a really good shoe for that. It reminds me of a dialed up Evo SL or a dialed up Boston 12. Not that the ride is exactly the same as the Evo SL, but in terms of the use case, the Zone 3 Champ shoe, the shoe where I want to go out and just run fast and fun. This is most certainly not a daily trainer, and I was out here with the Mizuno Neo Vista 2, which I guess is now the most slept on shoe. I keep checking the numbers today, and it's puzzling to me. I don't need to get a lot of views every day, and I said this yesterday. I know the 100-mile reviews don't get a lot of views. It's fine. But I don't know why Mizuno gets so few views. Legitimately, Skechers Aerospark, the cheapest Skechers performance shoe, is getting more views than the Mizuno. The Neo Vista 2, the Super Max Stack shoe, which is the most exciting segment, right? The segment with all the technology and the plates. I don't know why people are sleeping on that. But in that video, what I was saying about the Neo Vista 2 is that's a shoe where I can lace it up and go out for some relaxed miles. This one is not a daily trainer. This is not a supercharged daily trainer like that one was. This is most certainly a fast shoe or a speed shoe or a shoe that I need to be running with some sort of strength or power. With the Mizuno Neo Vista 2, I can hang back on my heels. I can just glide. I'm not thinking about it. It does disappear on foot in a way, even though it is so tall and wacky and bouncy and soft. This one does not disappear on foot. At all. I was thinking about it for the entirety of the 90 minutes of that run. Every single step, I was thinking about this shoe. It reminds you that it's there the whole time. I gotta be landing up on the front if I wanna get the biggest benefit. I gotta be running with strength. I gotta be running upright. It's almost like the Nike Streak Fly 2 in a sense with the geometry. If you remember the Streak Fly 2, that thing has the heel that's lower, the cutoff heel, in this negative drop feel. This is a very similar thing where if you actually look at it being flat, the toe here is higher than the heel. It really does feel negative droppy, and this foam in the back, take a look at this. Look how much this compresses. The foam in the back compresses a ton. So if you're heel striking, it goes all the way down versus the forefoot. Let me see if I can, I can barely compress this because of the plates and the rods in the plate. So it has this really odd feel where the heel is squishier than the front, which gives this negative drop effect. And then you also have all the hard material right up here in the midfoot and the forefoot. And I think that's why I have to land more like this to get the biggest benefit, because you can just look in here and you can see these are the rods, this is the plate. And so if I'm landing flat, it's almost like I have to fight over the rods in the midfoot to get where I want and to roll through the stride, versus on the front, it's working more with me. Now, at my size, I weighed in at, dude, I've never seen myself under 150 pounds, at least in my adult life or since high school. And I was jacked in high school. I think I was more like 180 or 175. So I haven't probably been 148 pounds since 7th grade or something. And after that run on Sunday where I was completely wiped out, I saw a 148 on the scale, which is just crazy because that means it was all the water weight flushing out of me. But typically I'm around 155 these days. So at that size, at the 640 paces, which is still closer to a daily pace for me, or it's in between, right? Zone 3, right? In between a daily pace and a marathon pace, a race pace. It's 45 seconds to a minute slower than race pace. At that pace, it still feels like I'm not 100% unlocking and optimizing what this shoe can do, but it is really good. And if I had something else on my foot, I don't think I would have gotten as good of a run this morning. Even if I had the Evo SL or the Nova Blast 5 or the Salomon Aeroglide, I don't know if I would have been getting down to 640. I don't know if I would have been running with the same strength and posture and enthusiasm for getting the pace that this encouraged. So that is a benefit of the shoe. When we lace up a Streak Fly or a Sky Paris for a workout or for any run, just by putting that shoe on the foot, there's nothing about that shoe itself that is going to make us run a minute per mile faster versus our everyday paces if we're lacing up a Brooks Ghost Max. But by putting it on, it puts us in the mindset of speed. And that's the same thing with this. It puts me in the mindset of I'm going to be going out and running harder than normal. And then it does do a good job bouncing me along. It just feels really overbuilt and for my needs. And here's the other thing, right? I think about this a lot with cars. I'm a huge car guy. I own a Jeep Wrangler. You know how many times I take the Jeep Wrangler off-roading per year? Probably 3. The majority of the time, people have this joke called mall crawlers. If you have a Jeep or a Toyota that you mainly use for the pavement, they call it a mall crawler, and these all the jokes about going to Whole Foods. It's almost like the hobby jogger of cars. However, when you want the capability, it's there. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it or not have it. But it's best of all to not need it and not have it. Anyway, this is very much like an overbuilt SUV. An Ineos Grenadier, a Land Rover Defender. I don't know if that's overbuilt, that's just flashy. A Mercedes-Benz G-Wagen AMG G63, a Toyota Land Cruiser, not the current generation, the previous generation. That's what this is. There's so much technology, so much foam. Nobody needs the 50mm stack. I did a 27-mile long run in the Streak Fly last year. I ran a marathon for fun around the neighborhood in a 5-year-old pair of Nike Epic React 2. Nobody needs all this technology, but it's so fun. It does encourage me to run faster, and it's a cool piece of memorabilia. That's why I'm struggling with this shoe, and I even said this on the first run. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. It's like opening up that Nintendo DS or whatever gift you wanted when you were a kid, the ripstick or the basketball hoop. It really does just bring me joy. It's like nothing else out there. It's not a standard shoe. Even the shoes that I've loved this year, like the Aeroglide and the Magnify now and the Streak Fly to a lesser extent, those shoes don't have what this does. And I think the Streak Fly is a really good comp because that gives me that special quality too, where it is like a toy in the best sense, not a cheap toy, but something that is designed purely for enjoyment. And it's not just all about utility, because the dirty secret to running shoes is that 95% of the running shoes that are at least $120 can do what you need them to do. 95% of them you can use for your everyday miles. You can use for 20-mile long runs. You can use for workouts, right? And of course on race day, if you want to get a PR, if you've been putting in the work for 12, 16 weeks, you're going to want to invest the money in getting the $250 or $300 shoe or $150 shoe using the Supwell app to get it highly discounted off MSRP. But you will want to buy what's going to give you the best chance of getting those extra few percentage points to get your PR. But for training, you can do whatever you need to do in 95% of the shoes on the market. The Cumulus can do what this can do in terms of the utility. Right? I can run a 20-mile long run in a Cumulus. I can run some marathon pace if I needed to in a Cumulus. This is going to give me some speed assistance, but the effect of the workout will be similar. Is this going to give me some more impact protection than something like a Cumulus? Probably, but then if we just want impact protection, we go to the Nimbus, right? So it's not that this is giving so much more performance, but it's the experience. Hello. You can go behind, it's okay. No, you're not messing me up. I like the shoes, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're very comfortable.
She was rocking the crispy Mach 6. Let's go. Is that a Jetta? That's a Jetta. That's a banger. My mom used to have a Jetta when I was growing up, a stick shift Jetta. See, even my mom is an appreciator of the cars. She had a stick shift Jetta. Meanwhile, you boys were getting driven around in the Chrysler Town and Country. Stop it. Yeah, utility versus enjoyment. There are so many shoes that we can use to execute on the workouts, on the daily runs, but there are so few shoes that have the same amount of coolness. And I think that's really the word, dude. Sometimes we overcomplicate things. This is just a gosh dang cool shoe. It looks cool, it feels cool. No, it's not the smoothest ride, it's not the lightest weight. There are some compromises to it. Again, with the strung upper, I was saying in the first run review, I don't know if I'm sold on what this strung thing is doing. And some people are saying it's designed to keep your foot attached down to the big midsole more, but there's tons of other shoes with big midsoles that don't have the strung upper. I think it's there to showcase what the coolest upper could be. So, man, I try to be as objective as possible. Not even really. That's why I don't really like that word, because I try to give you my experience and share how I am feeling about stuff. I think that's more so it, not swayed by other people's opinions. That's really what it is. And yeah, with this, it's hard to be, let's just evaluate it based on the performance. Because no, this is not going to be the shoe that I choose for my marathon PR. No, this is not going to be the shoe I choose if I want to have the most comfortable recovery run. No, this is not the best value shoe. Just go get a Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 on Sierra.com for $80 or something, or go get something on the Supple app if you just want value and utility and just raw performance. There's just so many better options than this, but there's nothing else that looks this cool, that feels the same way, that makes me as excited and reinvigorated. And some of these recent shoes have done that. I think sometimes I can get jaded when it's just relentless, the pace of relentless releases. I'm just taking new shoes out of the box, and there used to be this sense of fun and you get the dopamine hit, right, when you're unwrapping something. But the more you do it, the less special it is. This is one of those shoes that still feels special even for me. It's like the Streak Fly, man. I only ran in that thing once because it doesn't really fit into my training, but it has the same sense of this is a cherished, special, cool product. So that's where this is for me. I really had a good run in it this morning. I hope I can get the splits, but I think it was around 640. You get a lot of bounce in the forefoot, but for me, I was noticing I did have to land up at the front. Now, just strictly talking about the ride, I don't think that's a bad thing, because the mechanics I was using to get down to the steady zone were more similar to the mechanics I'd be running with at marathon pace. So leaning upright, banging forward, not dragging the heel down a lot. So it's almost like the shoe is a good tool for developing the marathon mechanics that I want. So that is one thing. And then I know some people who start to get more miles in this, again, like our guy Donnie Howard, who's 200 plus pounds. He was saying that he was just getting crazy bounce at this at all of his paces. He was running at a 10-minute pace and it was crazy bounce. So I think that's the other thing with this shoe. Again, I'm 155. My paces are around, daily paces are around 7:30 to 8, and then workout paces are 6 minutes and faster. For me, this could be a good steady shoe, maybe a good marathon pace training shoe. And then for others, maybe this is more of the, you could use it as your everyday shoe. If you're somebody who likes to super blast a lot, maybe you, not that you're gonna wanna use this as a daily trainer because it has so much tech in it, but you could use this as more of an option that you train in frequently, rotating it with a lower stack, non-plated shoe with the different setup. So 14 miles so far today. It's a big thumbs up for me, man. It's one of those things where it's not a perfect shoe and there are flaws to it. The ride isn't the best, but it's just so cool. It's just so cool. You can't deny the coolness. So that's where I am with it. Sue me. I'm not objective. I'm biased. I'm biased to like cool things, right? And I think a lot of people though who are in the community are the same as me. That's why we're shoe sickos. People came into it either through they were golf before or collected whiskey before like I did, or they like watches or cars, or they were sneakerheads and now they're doing it for the running shoe. So when something like this comes in, to me, man, it gives me the same excitement as when I'm watching a Throttle House BMW M5 video, or the newest comparison of the high-powered G-Wagon with whatever other super SUV, right? So that's what this is. This is like the Lamborghini Urus Performante, whatever, just tons of horsepower, tons of torque. You don't need that car, you don't need the shoe, but it's really gosh dang cool. Yeah, this is a cool one. This is a cool one. I'm happy now. We need more cool shoes. And brands like Adidas too, they have lots of value in the lineup. If you want the Evo SL, get the Evo SL. Right? Half the price is this. So I'm not mad at the price at all. Get the Adi Star. Don't get the 4, but get the 3. That's 100 and what was it? 130, 120. So and get the Ultra Boost. If you want pure utility, the Ultra Boost is one of the best shoes out there. That thing is gonna last forever. Nice bouncy ride. That foam is great. Decent comfort. Not too soft, not too firm. So I'm not mad at the $300 shoe. It's super cool. And there's just so many great value shoes in the Adidas lineup. They were selling the Supernova Prima OG for $64 a few weeks ago, which again, that can do basically everything this can do for a fifth of the price, a quarter of the price a few weeks ago, right? So yeah, I'm not mad at the price. This is gosh dang cool. We got to recover, and then I'll get the other 6, and this last 6 later today will be true recovery in the hot heat, seeing how it does at an 8-minute pace for just an hour for me, because that's going to be the true test of daily miles. I was going faster than this morning than I thought, so that'll be the test later today. I will see you then. Bro, it tells me it's still charging. Meanwhile, it's, can you see that? 45%. It's 3 percentage points lower now. It's disrespectful. Disrespectful. Quick working lunch. Have to go back to a meeting, but tortilla chips, quesadillas, and salsa. Let's go. It's a banger. Desk is still a mess. Oh no. Run number 2. 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 Listening to RMC Mike. You know what RMC Mike said, man? He said, fill you up with lead like our tap water. Because he's from Flint. That's a bar right there. That's a disgusting bar. That's a bar. I think the Michigan rappers are on top right now, man. They've just been absolutely crushing it. Flint and Detroit. Anyway, we got the Max Cushion Gang Prime X Strung 3s for the second run of the day here. Close it out with 6 to get our 20. A few things. So I've really been thinking about this front heavy thing. It really is so noticeable on these shoes, just how much of a difference in weight distribution there is from the front of the platform to the back. I don't think I've ever felt this in another shoe. Just, it feels like 65% of the weight is from this part of the platform up, and then only 35% is in the back. There's just all this tech, and also just the width. If you look at it from the bottom, look how much wider it is here. And it's similar in a shoe like the Sky Paris, except you don't have as much bulk in that shoe, so it's not as noticeable. Versus this guy, it's like I was saying earlier, just so overbuilt. It's like the coil spring suspension with the air ride suspension. It's a double suspension with the big 37-inch tires. It is just a monster, right? And all that weight is in the front. So it really does want to force this stride up here. And I'm wondering if the forefoot is going to break in any or feel softer and become a smoother ride, or if it's just one of the quirks of this platform and we'll have to live with it. So that's what I'm looking to test on the second run. Also, I wanted to talk about socks, because I've been giving Stance a lot of love recently, and I pretty much only brought Stance socks to the trip. But now that I've been back, I've been running in the Features socks again, and they're still really good. So the Features socks, I think they're the best protection with these ankle socks. The padding around the back is better. The no-shows also go up higher. So if you look at this, the no-show socks on the Features, they cover more of my foot. So the upper's not touching my foot. They also are firmer, though. The Feature socks, they're firmer and starchier versus the Stance socks are super soft. So it's classic trade-offs, right? This one feels indestructible, durable, more protective, but then the Stance socks are more comfortable, lighter weight. So there you go. That's the sock comparison. They're both great. It's just, do you want durability and protection, or do you want comfort and lightweight? All right, second run of the day, Prime X Strung 3. Let's do this. Let's go, baby. Oh, look at that. Charles is cleaning all the shoes. I think she put them in the washer. Her Cliftons and the kids. What are those? 720s? Whew! Might see another pair of shoes down there soon, because that was erotic. That was quite the experience out there. Oh, baby. Man. 90 degrees again, or close to it. And that was absolutely moving in this thing. 6:55 pace. Man, I rarely go in the 6s on these afternoon runs. Where do I get my splits? Bro, this is... I'm going to stop complaining about this watch because I have to live with it for another month now. Laps? There we go. Yeah, 8:05, 7:33, 6:50, 6:41, 6:27, 5:55. Bro, that was the first run in a while where I actually felt like I could go sub 2:30 because it's been rough, it's been rocky, but I looked down on my watch on the last mile there on the straightaway, and that straightaway, it doesn't lie. It always tells me it's a good, honest depiction of my fitness. There's only one straightaway in this entire neighborhood, and I usually get to it around mile 6 or 7. So that will be whatever my recovery pace is that day, I'll hit it on the straightaway. My workout paces, I'll hit it on the straightaway. And I looked down, and I wasn't even pressing, and the watch said 5:45. And that was the first time I felt that 5:45 feels smooth. Now, of course, these shoes are giving me a ton of bounce and speed assistance. But I've also had a lot of mileage on the legs today, and it's hot. So, man, that was just a beautiful run there. I'm feeling the effect of that down week and having some time to recover. And these shoes are just so good, man. It is a totally emotional shoe. This is an emotional purchase. It's not a functional purchase. You don't need this shoe, but gosh dang, is it fun? Is it so enjoyable to run in this, man? And popping off the front. You know what this is? It's the bigger brother of the Fast R3, which is the bigger brother of the Streak Fly. They're like the nesting Soviet dolls. In the middle, you have the Streak Fly, which is half the weight of this thing, super stripped down, maybe even is less than half the weight of this. And then you have the Fast R3, and then you have this. They all have this aggressive cut down here with this rocker. So, man, this is right up there with that category of shoes. Those might be the 3 most fun carbon fiber shoes. You have the Streak Fly for the short demon time. You have the Fast R for the threshold and the marathon pace demon time. And then this guy is the long run demon time, man. Just absolute banger. So, yeah, that run cemented this as one of my favorites. Now, this is just such a fun shoe to train in. And again, like I said earlier, it's not the absolute best at any one thing, but if you're just going out here and running hard, the spirit of what I like about running, just not worrying about the pace, enjoying it, having fun, dude, that's what you're getting out of this thing. Totally emotional purchase, but we all like to have a little fun, right? So that's what this is. Big thumbs up for the Prime X3. I'm excited to get a long run in it, and we got a ton of new shoes coming out, so I don't know when that's going to be, but yeah, I think this might be even better for a 22, 23-mile long run with some marathon pace than it was out here today for the 20-mile day. So that's going to be the next test. Absolute banger here. It's not really quite like anything else, and I'm not saying it's the best shoe ever created, but there's nothing that's exactly what this is. It's like a faster Skyward X, a slower, slightly more comfortable Fast R3. Really cool shoe. That's it. Yeah, there's no really other words in my vocabulary to describe it. It's just really, really, really cool. Maybe that's the new thing. Instead of pretty good, it's really, really, really cool. All right, that's all I have for you today. Another 20-mile day. We're back at it, back in Min Hill, absolutely grinding in the 90-degree heat. This is where the PRs are planted. We plant them now, and then we harvest in the fall. Let's go, baby. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. All right. I'm a shark in the fish pond.